Briana, welcome to the Home Services Growth Show. Tell us a little bit about your background. You were in the Bath Planet world for a while as well, weren't you?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very grateful to be here with you today. A little on my background is I've worked in many different industries, but it led me to home improvement, which I'm very grateful for. Back in 2017, I started working at APCO, Bath Planet of Richmond, and Solar Time as director of marketing. And then in 2020, I moved back to Jersey, my hometown, and was general manager at Bathroom Pros of New Jersey. And this past March, I actually just branched off and started my own company called Altruistic Advisory, which I just feel beyond grateful for my incredible clients and my incredible network of strategic partners.
That's a good way to look at it, too. New Jersey is my hometown, so... Dustin, go ahead.
I'm a Midwest guy, so I can't. I'm right in the heart of it. Well, tell me a little bit more about your business, and I know you speak on culture. Like, how did that originate, and why that's important, I guess, to what you do?
Yeah, of course. So culture is one of my favorite topics because no matter what industry you're in, it is so important. And I think it needs to be the foundation of your company. So company culture, as a whole is your values, your beliefs, your attitudes, your behaviors, and that really shapes and defines your work environment and who is on your team. So I always like to say, company culture should align within the company's mission, the goals, and the overall work environment. And I actually was just at Top 500, and Charlie Gindell actually, he's a wealth of knowledge, but he specifically said it really well. So he said a company's culture equals the positive behaviors you encourage, empower, and reward minus the negative behaviors you allow and tolerate. So that right there, I think that speaks volumes because I've been in so many different industries now, and it's like company culture and having a safe place to be seen and heard and really respected and valued is what every employee wants. So if you can create that as an organization, then all of a sudden you can innovate, you can create, you can inspire, and you can grow while providing like a safe space for employees. So that's, really why I love core values and company culture and, as your foundation and your framework of your company.
Well, we know culture is important to every company, but how have you seen that really impact sales and revenue and all the metrics and performance that people generally focus on more? Because, culture is important, but a lot of people are looking at what happens this quarter, this week, this month, whatever those goals are.
Yeah, I think culture is the start of it and the end of it. At the end of the day, if you have a good culture, you have employee engagement, you have productivity, your customer experience is incredible, where people actually trust you. And I think that really boils down, if you look at your sales team, right, and they're out in the field and they're selling something that they don't believe in or they don't trust that's going to actually be followed through, that's going to affect the sale. So if you're a collective unit and you guys all align together and work together and you have that foundation, it's only going to enhance that customer experience as well. And then innovation and adaptability. If you can, change is inevitable. So if you can adapt to that change with resilience, that's where I really see teams thrive.
This is great information. So how, as people are listening, right, to this show and people are going to be attending our conference, as people are trying to grow their business, right, does that change based on size, like the culture, the mission, what does that look like for a company that's trying to go from, 15 million to 30 million or bigger? How do you control that, or what does that look like?
Yeah. That's a great question. Small companies, obviously with company culture, it's coming from, your leadership team and it's coming from more of an intimate place because you're probably getting that direction from them. Whereas with a larger company, it can be more challenging because essentially, it's going through so many different channels through that ladder. So finding, really fine tuning. And I think as you grow a company, having your key players that are incredible leaders that everybody trusts and can turn to, I think that really, really makes all the difference when you have those right people in the right seats.
So one of the phrases that we've heard over and over again is Peter Drucker talking about culture eats strategy for breakfast. And that all makes sense up until you have some, bad eggs or undercooked bacon. But do you think most leaders at or near the very top know they even have a culture problem? Because I've talked about this a lot with people who, they think everything is rosy beneath them, if you will. And they, get trapped, if you will, in the C-suite culture as opposed to the we-suite.
Yeah. With leaders, it should be very apparent to you if there's a toxic culture. However, it depends on the leader, right? So if you as a leader don't have the self-awareness or the awareness of others, or you are leading that toxic culture, you're not going to identify it. So I think, that's something to consider. But most leaders, they're going to be the leaders that lead by example, right? They provide feedback and different information for everybody to be able to collaborate. And when a conflict comes up, they're going to, advise stellar communications and work through it instead of behind each other's backs. And I think all of that stems from leadership. And it takes, a special individual that works on themselves so that they can work on the company.
Great point.
Well, what are some simple things? Like, I'm loving where we're going with this, because as executives, as businesses, as you said, get bigger, right?
Yeah.
They're not as involved in the day-to-day, right? So if we've got, somebody even out there that's trying to balance that leadership, what are some little things that you've seen, or maybe some tips on just that day-to-day? Because they don't, right? As you get bigger, they're dealing with bigger challenges, bigger obstacles, strategy, right? What are just maybe some little things that people can do to be conscious of leaving a lasting impact that makes a difference in that day-to-day culture?
Yeah. Number one, beyond anything else, as a leader, you want to ensure that everyone is seen and heard and really valued at a company. And that means you have to take an extra minute, sit with them one-on-one, go through their performance, how they're doing, and give them feedback and coach them and guide them as a mentor. And you can do that easily in day-to-day activities. Also being genuine, being authentic. And how are you? How's everything going with the family? How really connecting with people in a way that, is authentic and genuine, where you can build that trust. And I always say lead with empathy and lead with vulnerability. There's no better way to lead than, vulnerability is just such a beautiful place to connect with people. And I think we're all deeply rooted in connecting through vulnerability.
Well, one of the things I also love about you that we've had conversations on before, and this has been a passion of mine for years, is talking about charitable works. I remember on the last mastermind that I went to with you, you were talking about that. And it can really help a company, especially when it's in their DNA. It's not just something that they do, from a brand positioning standpoint, but it's, talk about how charitable works can help a company with developing this sense of culture.
Yeah. Oh, I love charitable work. And if you're not using it, you guys should definitely dive into it. I think it really fosters a complete sense of the company's purpose and passion. And really, it enhances the overall employee engagement and retention rate. And in addition to that, your community. Your community knows you in a different light than just your service, right? And being able to fully give back. I just think building in your community and empowering your community can just lead to higher engagement, increased loyalty. Companies basically involved in charitable work often attract like-minded individuals that have similar belief systems to them. So I think that there's endless rewards for it, but it also really provides that sense of purpose and belonging within the community, that your employees can believe in something greater than themselves and give back to something greater than themselves. And I think that's where people really can connect.
Great.
Well, I'm excited to have you at our conference. So you've got great information here, great knowledge, expertise, just a lot of value to bring to our attendees and those listening to the podcast. So I'm excited for February to get here.
I am so excited for the summit coming up.
Well, Briana, thank you so much for joining us and being with us today on the Home Services Growth Show. And I cannot wait to see you in February.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys. And I am just so grateful for the opportunity to be there.
See you soon.
See you soon.